Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270 KIML.
News Talk 1270 KIML. Don Carpenter Show. Welcome back to the program. It's 9:08, and we have a full house in studio. We have, Well, welcome to the show, Jaegertown.
All right, good to be here, Don. Thanks.
So, first off, have you gotten a cease and desist from Jägermeister?
No, we've been under the radar, luckily.
Nice. So you guys are playing over at Boot Hill all weekend. You started last night, and it really is. I mean, it's just a great place to do a show. So tell us a little bit about where you're from and what brought you to Gillette, Wyoming.
Sure. If you book them, they will come.
That's right.
That is true. Money brought you here.
You know, we played last year up this direction, and it was great. We started to kind of catch a little steam, and anytime you roll through, we didn't get to Gillette, but we did a few big shows coming through with some people that we were out on the road with that went through Sheridan. And so, yeah, anytime you can come to a new town, especially when you're out there with somebody, you know, big nationals and stuff, and then you start to getting your own fans. And so we're looking forward to coming back this direction.
Well, yeah, and you guys have a great sound. I mean, it's, you're obviously, I guess, rooted in country, but there's a little bit of a rock thing to it as well. I'm sure, you probably have answered this question 1,000 times on 1,000 radio stations. I mean, where did you kind of get your sound? I mean, what helped you develop this sound?
I think what it was we were all playing in different bands before we made our first record, before this even became a band. And everybody brought bits and pieces of their own, their individual bands, and then we started just making all this other stuff. So it definitely has a huge edge of a rock influence. More than a traditional country thing, I think, but that's just in our blood. We like to rock, you know what I mean?
I think it comes from the live show, really. I mean, you want to, we love country, and obviously, like I said, steeped in country, but we wanted the shows to be high energy, and that's because that's the background we all came from. So
now, I mean, have you guys all played in country bands before, or is this just? I mean, is a little bit more of a rock background.
Jaegertown has been a band for about 7, 8 years, and but yeah, everybody previous to that had always been kind of more rock and or more independent kind of projects. So it was, that's definitely our first dealing.
The country thing was cool because it's the kind of sound that you have to really dig deep. You play it with your heart, not your head, to get it right. I've always felt like
3 chords in the truth.
Yeah, 3 chords in the truth sort of
well,
thing.
That's a perfect way to put it. I mean, I'm always kind of hesitant to make comparisons, but there's a little bit of a Skinner thing there.
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, I guess for a country rock band, that's probably that's probably the pinnacle of what.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Somebody said John Cougar last night.
Really?
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll take a John Cougar.
Yeah, that's not too bad either.
Well, somebody said Eric Church too.
Yeah, we got that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Newer stuff.
Well, I mean, these days, you can't get much bigger than Eric Church either.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I know my daughter. Oh boy, Eric Church.
Yeah.
I mean, if she could, she'd probably marry him, but which wouldn't,
who wouldn't really?
Yeah, wouldn't be bad for me. Wouldn't be bad for me. But yeah, it really is. It's just a great. It's a modern sound.
Yeah,
and
that's what we like about it.
Yeah.
We hope that our original songs sound original, because that's how we want them to be, and we always write more of like storyboard type songs.
Sure.
Come up with really cool concepts and to tell a fun story, but not to give away the whole truth. We want a listener to be able to relate to the story that we're trying to tell, and that's what makes music really special. Well,
yeah, and for a musician, I imagine having that kind of connection with the listener is the greatest accomplishment that you could have.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's nothing like going to a show, and especially if you've once you start coming through a town again, and then when you come back and you make fans and friends, and then you see the next time you come through, people are wearing your stuff and they're singing your songs. I mean, that's where it's at.
I just want I want fans to love our stuff the way that I love the stuff that I listen to.
Right, exactly.
Well, so now when you're just on the bus, and I saw your bus parked outside, very nice, by the way.
Hard to turn around though.
Well, especially in our parking lot.
Kind of like a big sail when you're in the wind.
Yeah.
Well, now I will tell you that apparently the secret to our parking lot with buses is you actually have to use the road to turn around and you back in, and then you can pull right back out. We had somebody bring a school bus in here, and I had no idea how they did it. But you have to use the entire road.
Okay.
So when you're on the bus, I mean, what do you have on your iPod?
Oh, on the way down here, we were doing a lot of Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
See,
and then we were listening to some classic, what we were, Sticks. And
we started with Kansas.
Bad Company.
There was Bad Company in there a lot.
Well, and you mentioned Alice in Chains. That's the kind of stuff I grew up with.
Sure,
so
yeah.
that's I mean, I'll admit I'm not a big country guy, which is kind of strange. I live in Wyoming, but having that rock edge to it, it really makes it more accessible to a lot of people that might not normally want to check out a country band. I mean, it's definitely something that's a little bit more accessible to everybody.
To be approachable. For sure.
Best rock bands now are country bands.
It's true. Like. Yeah, one thing that's funny about radio that a lot of people don't know is nationwide. I mean, country is somewhere in the 3,500, 3,200 radio stations, and then the next closest amount of radio stations is top 40, and that's only about 1,500.
Oh, yeah.
So really, they should call country kind of more top 40. I mean, there's more country stations than anything, but the sound of new country is, it's definitely you see all these crossover artists now, the people that are. They wrote this song, and it's definitely could be played on any station, not just country.
Well, and seems to be there's two forks off of that. You have the pop country and you have the rock country,
right?
And I think it's just music these days. I mean, there's so much commingling of all kinds of styles.
Definitely, yeah. You'll see some of these guys with bands, and like the. Jason Aldean's band, he's wearing a cowboy hat, and his drummers or whatever got a mohawk.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they sound great, and the music's awesome.
Yeah, it still comes through.
All Montgomery Gentry's guys were wearing Black Label Society.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they were. Yeah.
Well, you're wearing a Reverend Horton Heat sweatshirt, which it's not that far from country, but the old
rockabilly.
the rockabilly stuff. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It.
Yeah. So I guess. Well, now where are you guys originally from? Are you all from the same area?
We're all out of Salt Lake. Some of us,
that's where I live. That's where I was born.
Yeah, that's where you were born. Yeah.
So
what do you want from me?
so you're from the West. I mean, do you normally just do your touring out west, or do you get all over?
It's like Western United States. We've gone down south.
Yeah, we've done some good southern things.
Yeah, but mostly Western United States.
We got some Nevada and some Boise coming up.
Really trying to go over to Ireland. That's where
Ireland.
That's weird. We've got a couple of songs that are getting played over in the UK, and so we're trying to work something out. There's actually a big country scene in Ireland. So
in Ireland, of all places. I guess they can't listen to U2 all the time.
That's right.
Who could?
Maybe they heard us playing a U2 song.
That could be. So I mean, you guys are definitely. You've been together for 8 years. I mean, have you seen any kind of changes as far as what the scene is like? I mean, it seems like things are going more towards what you do than what they were even maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, they're always pushing the edges and the boundaries, with the whole. I mean, the whole thing in music is if you're doing what's going on exactly right now, you're already kind of behind the curve.
Yeah.
So you want to.
You either want to do the same thing way better than everybody else, or do something totally new.
Yeah, you want to be rooted in the tradition of it, but try to make your own sound. I think that's
personally, I like what's happening right now in country music. I like that harder edge aspect coming in, and the more kind of grungy guys and singing. And I think it's really cool to just always be open to new genres mixing together.
Well, yeah. I mean, and the whole mashup thing. I mean, it's huge these days. So, yeah. I mean, yeah.
And we try to incorporate that in the live show. I mean, we'll drop from Devil Went Down to Georgia and to Metallica. I mean,
Oh, very nice.
yeah, we just do. We love that whole getting somebody something that they recognize, and then maybe something that was like totally unexpected as well.
So you kind of mix your originals in with some other stuff.
I mean, some shows. I think every show, when we're out with some of the big guys. I mean, even everybody's got somebody that they're a fan of. And so you get together with your friends in a band, and you're like, yeah, we want to get our stuff out there, but wouldn't it be crazy to do something like that? To go from Kids Rock, Cowboy to, Aerosmith and go walk this way and then drop back into one of your own songs, something like that.
Well, yeah, and it reminds me of a show I went to many, many years ago. And there were 3 bands on the bill, and they all played the same cover. They all, and it was a Slayer song of all things.
Wow.
but they all played. They all played Rain and Blood, and I will tell you, the crowd went nuts every single time.
Cool.
But it was just a really it's a way to draw people in, I think.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then they see the original stuff and see how good that is, and then you got them hooked.
Like 10 million.
Got them hooked. That's right. 10 million.
10
That's
million.
top.
So I mean, you've mentioned that you've toured with some big acts. I mean, who have you toured with?
Well, see, last summer, that's what we were saying. We were up this direction. We were out with Montgomery Gentry for a little bit, and those guys are great. And Leanne Rimes, Chris Cagle.
Cagle.
We spent some time with him. Spent some time with some...
Edwin McCain was cool.
Yeah, Edwin was good.
This show, Sawyer Brown.
Brown, Alabama. Restless Heart, we spent a lot of time with those guys. Ty Herndon. This summer we're doing some stuff. We're doing another thing out for a while with Mark Wills, and then a couple of Lone Star. So we got some Lone Star,
and you're doing the big festival up in Sheridan in June as well.
Lady Antebellum will come through with them, and Brantley Gilbert, Little Big Town, will be at it, and we're going through with them for a little while. So that'll be fun.
So how many days of the year are you on the road?
It varies.
Kind of light this year.
Yeah, it just varies. Sometimes when you're in a riding season, definitely the summertime, spring, summer, fall. That's really like when things ramp up. From the small town fairs, rodeos, and then going out on these music fests, and people just we book and go around with those. So definitely that time of year is busier. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, it sounds like a pretty hectic lifestyle. I mean, I couldn't imagine. Getting up for these shows every night. How do you keep the energy level up?
Red Bull?
Yeah. Red Bull gets your wings.
Well, okay.
Lots of coffee. And afternoon naps. That's a big one.
Exercise is really important. Preston and I, we're going to really hit our core pretty hard today.
See, now 20 years ago, that would have been a completely different answer. It wouldn't have been Red Bull and coffee.
It probably would have been something else.
Yeah, something else. But that
even though we're Jaegertown, that's as far as we're going.
Well, well, what about the Jaeger with the Red Bull?
Yeah, Red Bull, absolutely.
Okay.
We actually had to get off that one.
There is some of that on the bus.
I could do the Jaeger, and the Red Bull, it's a little too sweet for me. I don't know why, but my brother loved those things. But that's we'll get off the topic here. So you guys are going to be over at Boot Hill all weekend. And you started last night.
Yeah. What a great room.
Oh man,
yeah.
Terry is and both the Terrys. I mean, Terry, you got the Terry that owns it, and then you've got Terry, his sound guy. And man, awesome room. You can always tell when you step into a room that was put together by, really accomplished musicians. Yeah, because I mean, they spent a lot of time, making sure the sound was right. I was talking to Terry that does sound, and he was saying, they brought 3 different PAs in the room before they could get it to do what they wanted it to do, and then he spent a long time working on the lights.
Some of the big shows.
It really did, yeah. I mean,
awesome.
Even some of the big stages, it's a nice controlled room. It sounds good.
Oh yeah, well, and just wait. It's funny. I live right up the road from there, and I drive. I drive past there on Friday and Saturday night. Wait until Friday and Saturday night. You guys are going to be swarmed.
Cool.
And I mean, it's just it really is. It's a great room. So why don't we kind of wrap things up? Of course, you're going to be over at Boot Hill all weekend. Mm-hmm. The website is Jaegertown.com. You have links. You can listen to some stuff. You can buy individual songs. You can buy the whole albums. I definitely suggest you guys check this out. It really is. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Which is Which, and coming through, like I said, I'm not a big country music guy. I was always a hard rock and metal guy. Mm-hmm. And that little edge to it, it really does make it just fun for everybody.
Well, thanks for having us. Yeah, that was fun.
So,
thank you, Wyoming, Gillette.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so I guess we're going to play Now and Then. Tell us a little bit about the song.
It's just one of those. I mean, there's so many of those country themes that it's hard to sit back and go, what hasn't been said, but it's okay, let's say it in your own way. And so, Garth Brooks had a song Every Now and Then that was huge, and that's totally nothing like that, but always those themes are reoccurring, and when you break up with somebody and you kind of everywhere you turn, every song you're listening to kind of just keeps popping in there, and you kind of see them everywhere for a while. It's just one of those kind of songs. So.
Okay, sounds good. So we're going to go into break with Now and Then. I want to thank the guys.
Thank you for having us.
Ladies,
awesome.
And ladies as well.
So much fun.
Jaegertown, Jaegertown.com. Here's Now and Then.
Questions, comments, complaints? No, wait, skip the complaints. Email Don anytime.
Don Carpenter at BasonRadio.com.
It's Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270 KIML.
The race for the top spot in a college rodeo is coming down to the final week. I'm Reese Monaco. This is the Cowboy State News Network. Sports brought to you by Steel. The college rodeo year concludes this weekend when the Wyoming field for the national finals will be set. Final rodeo is in Laramie. Final rodeo is in Laramie. Final rodeo is in Laramie. Final rodeo is in Laramie.